Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for a little bit more math. I know it's not our favorite. We've been big time math heads today, and I appreciate you guys for that. But we're getting ready to do some I-Learn practice, okay? So it's very important. And this is all review, so it's a lot of stuff that I know you guys know, but I want to take some time to remind you of it, okay? So it should be pretty quick, and dare I say the E word, all right? So today we're going to talk about two important concepts. We're going to talk about um, place value and we're going to talk about rounding, okay? Both go hand in hand. So let's talk about place value first. So what is place value? So remember, there is, infinite numbers. There are infinite numbers, okay? So the number I wrote, right? If you can say it to yourself. 287 was the answer. All right. So I feel like everybody knows that, right? Numbers, right? Now, each number is a digit, okay? These are all different digits. This is 2, this is 8, and this is 7. And what's the importance of these digits, right? Well, they all have a value. So if I say, kind of like our coin review, right? If I say I have $2.87, okay, that's money. But if I say I have 200, well, if it lets me erase, yikes. If I say I have $287, those are two completely different numbers, right? Because each number has a different value. So when we're looking at 287 here, we've got different numbers coming together to make one big number. So what do I mean by that? So we've got our ones, right? Like these would be our dollar bills, our tens, and our hundreds, right? We always start from the from the right and go to the left. So we always start with our ones place. Let me see if I can type this actually. Give me 1 second. Da, 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 da. Yeah, let's do it this way. We've got our ones. Make it, actually we'll stick with black and we'll bold it up. We've got our ones. Let's see if we can make it a little bit bigger. We've got then we go next, right? What comes after ones? We've got tens. Then we keep going, right? And as you go up, right? So you've got 1, 10. Oops, what is Miss She doing? Losing her mind. Then next would be hundreds, right? So then we've got hundreds. So then that comes next, and we keep working our way up. And now, since we're big third graders, we don't usually just stop there. We continue to go. So then after hundreds, what do we've got? We've got thousands. And then sometimes the number can get even bigger. And after thousands, we've got 10,000s. And on and on and on. Then we'd have 100,000s. Then we'd have millions. Then we'd have 10 millions. Then we'd have 100 millions. Yada, 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 yada. But the place value concept, it keeps going. So I'm just going to move all of this over just a little bit to fit perfect. Almost perfect. Come on, work with me here. Work with me here. Yeah. Okay. So my drawing's a little off, but everything has a value. So when you look at a number, you're going to start from the last digit and work your way up. So this would go to my ones, then you're going to work up to your tens, and then your hundreds. Now, this might seem like easy review for you, which is great if it is. If it's not, that's okay too. We're going to work together to get this done. But we need to make sure that we're understanding that each number has a place, okay? So I'm going to do a new number here. And we're going to work together, right? to figure out which place goes where. So we've got 28,427. I'm going to be a bad student and start with my 2. So if I put my 2 here, but put it here, is that going to make sense? That's going to completely change my number, right? If you work your way opposite, your number is going to be completely the same, completely different. Okay? So that is not going to work for us. Remember, you need to start from the end and work your way across. So our 7 is our ones, our 2 is our tens, 4 is our hundreds, 8 is our thousand, and 2 is our 10,000. And the best way to check, right? Because you're saying, oh, Miss Jade, she's just saying work your way from left to right, or right to left. But say the number out loud: 28,427. 28,427. Now that makes sense, okay? Does that make sense? So make sure if they ask you, right, or if you're asked to find the value, make a place value chart. Help yourself, okay? Because you might get a number like this. And then they might say, write this in expanded form. Write this in expanded form. So what does that mean, expanded form? That means they want you to take this number and basically expand it. Put each value where it goes. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So my 9 goes in my ones. My 1 goes in my ones. My 9 goes to the tens, right? My 2 goes to the hundreds, and my 7 goes to the thousand. So now to write this in expanded form, you literally write the number as it is. So 1 is equal to 1. If 9 goes to the 10, that's equal not to 9, right? You wouldn't put 9 tens. That's unit form. We don't want that. 9 tens is equal to what? 9 tens is equal to, my goodness, sorry guys. 9 times 10, which is the same as 90, or you could just know that, right? In your tens place, it should always end in a 0. 90. 2 goes in the hundreds, so that's 200. And 7 goes in the thousands, so that's 7,000. Let me actually move that down. So me knowing how to put my numbers in place value chart, everything works together. So expanded form is exactly what you see, and all you have to do is add a plus sign in between your numbers. Because when you add all of those together, it will equal to 7,291. So let's do it again. Our new number is going to be, well, that thing's annoying. Our new number, here, let me see if I can scroll. Okay. Our new number, oh my goodness. It's just as annoying. Oh. All right, let's cooperate. I don't think that's the problem. I'm going to pull everything down a bit. So when I pull it down, hopefully we don't have this problem anymore. All right, let's do it. There we go. Our new number, 8,400. I keep doing 400, but that's okay. 76, okay? So, once again, I'm going to have my 6 go to my ones, my 7 to my tens, yikes, my 4 to my hundreds, and my 8 to my thousands. Because I said that number, right? 8,476. So now I'm going to write it that way, okay? 6 is my ones. Tens was my 7, so that's equal to 70. Remember, tens always ends in 10 because the number 10 always ends in 10. So even if it helps you to do this, look, tens, hundreds, and then 1,000, right? Ends in 30. So tens, that's 7. See, tens has 10, so then my 7 needs a 0. Hundreds, 4, ends in 2 zeros, so then that means the 4 needs 2 zeros. And 8 goes to thousands, which has 3 zeros. You just add a 0 as you go up, so this has no zeros. Then you have 1, then you have 2, then you have 3, then you'd have 4, then you'd keep going, going, going. So the 8 should have 3 zeros behind it. And then if I put a plus sign in between all of my numbers, this is what expanded form looks like. Expanded form. I'm going to type that for us. Expanded form. Expanded form. Okay, so if a question says write this number in expanded form, and it gives you, 8,476, what you would do is write it just like this: 8,000 plus 400 plus 70 plus 6, and use your place value chart to help you if you don't know how many. Whoa! How did I do that? If you don't know how many zeros each number gets, right? Write your place value chart. Do your arrows, put your numbers in the correct spot, right? You always start from the ones and work your way that way up. And then, tens has 1 0, so I'm going to put that. Hundreds have 2 zeros, thousands have 3, and then you keep going, keep going. That way you can do it for any number you want. You just keep adding the 0. All right, so that's some expanded form place value review that you guys need to try to remember. And we're going to practice, okay? But that is for help with expanded form. So now, let's take a look at using number blocks. I found this really cool video of this teacher that is almost as cool as me, but not quite. Haha, that was a joke. Let's take a look at writing numbers with base 10 blocks. Okay, we know this. So when we're looking at, actually, I'm just going to use his video, but I'm not going to use his audio. When we're looking at place value, right, in number blocks, this block, usually it always represents 1,000, because if you count 10, 10, that's 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. This block always represents 1,000, okay? It's worth 1,000. This block represents 100, okay? Because we've got 10 going up and down, 10 side to side. We all know that 10 times 10 is equal to 100. This number block will always represent 10, the tens place, okay? Because when you count, you've got 10 blocks. And this one is worth 1 because you have 1 block. So sometimes you might see a question that is shaped like this, right? We've got all of those sticks. I'm sorry that it's looking that way, but you've got those blocks there. Okay, that made it worse. Those are our tens, right? And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones. Okay, so that would mean 10, 10, 10, 10. We've got 4 tens and 8 ones, aka we have 48. You might see a model like this, right? Remember, these are hundreds. They're 10 across, 10 going up and down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 100s. So I wonder if I can annotate at the same time. I can. Oh, let's pull that up first. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 400s. 1, 2, 3, 3 10s. 1, 2, 3, 4 4 ones. So I know my number is going to be 434. Sorry. Do you see how I can do that? So I count my blocks. Oh, there must have been a fifth one, but right. So I use my blocks and I write out my place value chart. So always write out your place value chart to help yourself. And then just count your blocks. So I've got 1, 2. Now remember these represent 1,000. So how many do I have? How many do I see? I see one, I see two, two of the 1,000 blocks, one, two of the 100 blocks. I don't see any tens, so I'm going to keep that at 0. And I have one, two, three, four of the ones. So my number, and remember, in place value, you don't add the comma until you get in between the thousands and the hundreds, right? So you have 3. I have 2,204. So the blocks are really just a visual version of what you're seeing. So now let's try this one. It's just visual numbers. So remember, the big greens represent thousands. So you're going to count how many, literally, how many do you see? 1, 2, 3. I see 3 of the big greens. Those are thousands. Do I see any hundreds? No, I don't see any hundreds. Those are the ones that have 10 by 10. If they have this like top right here and this side, these are thousands. If it was just this regular square, that's 100. But it's not. These are thousands. There's no hundreds, so that's going to get a 0. Now let's count my sticks, my tens. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4. I'm not going to put 40, right? I'm just saying how many do I see. So I see 3 of the green 1,000 blocks, 0 of the hundreds, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the tens, and 1, 2, 3, 3 of the ones. So my correct number is 3,043. So the base 10, once again, is just helping us to understand place value a little bit more. And now, with place value, now that we understand it, we're going to talk about rounding. Oops, did not mean to do that. All right, it's not going to erase, but that's okay. Rounding, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, all because Miss G has this really cute little rhyme that will help you. So rounding, that's like when you're estimating, when you're guessing. If you're looking at, if you've any of you've been to a baby shower or a wedding or like one of those games where they have like all this candy in a jar and they say, try to guess how many, M&Ms are in this jar. And you kind of look around, you look underneath it, you're trying to make a guess. Estimate, kind of like our vocabulary term. See, it's all coming together. Estimate, right? You're guessing. So that's kind of like what rounding is. It's kind of when you look at something and you're kind of making an estimate, right? You're guessing. You're like, I don't know if it's this much or this much. I'm just going to kind of take a guess. Rounding is the same way. You're kind of saying which number do you think it's closest to? So let's take an example of this. So if I have the number 4,324, okay, and I want to round it, let's say I want to round it to the nearest, they say round it to the nearest 100. So the first thing I'm going to do is find my place. First thing to do, find my place. So what do I mean by that? I want to round to the nearest 100. So this is the place I'm looking at. Hundreds place. So I find my place. I am going to next look next door, aka to the person next to me. Not in front of me, but behind me. So the number behind the 3, not the 4,000. I'm looking behind the 3. So look next door. Is this number, now I'm going to ask number 3, is it 5 or greater? Well, no, that's a number 2. If it was 5 or greater, I would add 1 more. Okay, but it's not. This is a 2. So I'm going to leave it at 2. Numbers in the front stay the same. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite my number. 4 stays the same. My place stays the same because I don't add 1 more. It's not greater than 5. Numbers behind 0 is their name. So 0. The number behind 3 is 0. The other number is 0. Oh, I just rounded to the nearest 100. What did Miss G mean about rule number 3? Let's practice. So we're going to leave this example up. We're going to do another one. Okay, I'm going to do it in blue. So I'm going to pretend the number, then my next number is 4,354. So we're going to go there, okay? Once again, I'm going to round to the nearest 100, and I'm going to type this, okay? I'm rounding to the nearest 100. All right, so I'll put an arrow. That's what I'm doing here. All right, so I'm gonna find my place, my hundreds place once again, right? We're rounding to the nearest hundreds, and I'm going to, so I found my place. Step one is done. I'm gonna look next door. Remember, when I say look next door, you look at the number behind it, right? Done. Now I'm gonna ask myself, is this number that I'm looking at next door, is it 5 or greater? Well, this is a 5, so that means I do need to add one more. So I don't add one more to the 5, I add one more to the 3 to my place. We're looking at our place. So that 3 is going to turn to, what's 3 plus 1? A 4. The numbers in the front stay the same. Okay, so that was a 4. The numbers behind, 0 is their name. All right, so this was behind and this was behind. Do you see how that has changed? So now I rounded to the nearest 100, but it's changed. That 5 changed things. This was a 2. This was 4,324. So when I round to the nearest 100, it was 4,300. But because this is 4,354, because this is 5 or greater, I changed that 3 to a 4. I add one more. Okay? So if this was 5, 6, 7, or 8, I would change that 3 to a 4. Okay? I always add one more when I look behind. And that goes for any time you're rounding. Let's do another example. Okay? We'll do a smaller example. This time we're going to round. Let me try to erase as much of these little doodles that I make. This time we're going to round to the nearest 10. We're going to round to the nearest 10. So, here we go. Our number is going to be 56. 56. So let's round 56 to the nearest 10. First, I'm going to find my place. We're rounding to the nearest 10. So that means I need to find my place. 10. All right, check. I need to look next door. All right. Done. Is the number next door 5 or greater? Well, yes, 6 is greater than 5. So that means I need to add one more. Now remember, I'm not adding one more here. I'm adding one more to my place. That's what I'm looking at. So I'm going to add one more. That 5 is going to turn to 6. Numbers in the front stay the same. Well, there's no numbers in the front. All right. Numbers behind the 6. Well, was a 5, now it's 6. 0 is their name. So I just rounded to the nearest 10. Let's do it again for a different number. Okay. Let's do it for, I think we just did, let's do orange. Let's do it for 7,964. And we'll still round to the nearest 10, okay? Find your place. Look next door. Is it 5 or greater? Nope. Then I don't have to add one more. If it was, I would. The numbers in the front stay the same. The numbers behind, 0 is their name. I just rounded to the nearest 10. Let's do it again. Practice never hurts. Practice never hurts. Let's now round to the nearest 1,000. Here we go. We'll keep it orange. And we'll make our number 72,465. Actually, let's make it 5 or greater, just for some funsies. We'll do 700. All right, let's round to the nearest 1,000. Let's find our place. Done. Let's look next door. Is it 5 or greater? Yes, then I need to add one more. 2 plus 1 is 3. Numbers in the front stay the same. Numbers behind, 0 is their name. I just rounded to the nearest thousand. Ooh, pretty bad. But do we kind of see how we did that? We'll do one more example, and then you guys are going to go ahead and practice on your own. Here we go. Use the rhyme to help you. We'll do rounding to the nearest 100. One more time. All right. Here we go, here we go, here we go. My number is going to be 6,000, 60,000, no, 62,441. All right, here we go. Find my place. Actually, let me erase all my doodles. Try to keep this rhyme in your head, okay? Round to the nearest 100. Here we go. Find my place, hundreds place. Look next door, aka behind it. Find my place, look next door. Is this 5 or greater? Nope, I don't need to add one more then. This is going to stay a 4. Numbers in the front stay the same, 6 and 2. Numbers behind, 0 is their name. If I wanted to round this to the nearest, let's do the same number, but this time we'll round it to the nearest 10. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Find your place. We're rounding to tens now. Look next door, behind it. Is that 5 or greater? Nope, I don't need to add one more then. It's going to stay the same. Numbers in the front stay the same, 6, 2, and 4. All of those come down. Numbers in the back, 0 is their name. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Let's round to the nearest. Let's round to the nearest. Same number, round to the nearest. Round to the nearest. 1,000. Wait, I think we did that already. We'll do 10,000. Nope. Yep, 10,000. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Find your place. Look next door. Is that 5 or greater? Nope, I don't need to add one more. Numbers in the front stay the same. There's nothing but in front of it, but numbers behind it, 0 is their name. 0, 0, 0, 0. I just rounded to the nearest 10,000. Use this to help you guys with rounding, okay? So we did cover a lot. We covered expanded form, we covered place value, and we covered rounding. But I know you guys are going to do a great job. Try your best, and I'll see you soon.